Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Oh No, Not You Too. And today we are going to be responding to Dr. K, who's a psychologist or some shit. He makes streams on Twitch. Anyway, he made a video about deepfakes, and he was completely and utterly wrong about really everything he said. Now, his video's long. I've already done a video on deepfakes the other day, so what I'm going to do this time is just respond to the relevant points and some of the arguments he makes. I'm not going to bother responding to the entire video because that would take too long, and honestly, I just don't give a shit at this point. But, here we go.
The reason that we're choosing to open our mouths today is because I think a lot of people really need to understand what impact this has. Because we've heard a lot of people say, hey, this is harmful to me. And we've also heard a lot of people say it shouldn't be. Right? You didn't actually participate in it. You don't have to watch it. We hear all these kinds of statements. So I'm going to start off by sharing a little bit about the research. So the first thing is that if you look at the research on this kind of stuff, there's actually a research term called non-consensual pornography. And why do they call it that? It's because kind of like revenge porn falls under that, but it's basically what are the psychological impacts of pornography that doesn't have the consent of the people involved. So there's one study that shows that after non-consensual pornography is released, over half of the people who are involved want to kill themselves. And this is like a one-time thing that leads to suicidal ideation in over 50% of people. In addition to all kinds of crap around PTSD, anxiety, depression, all that stuff gets worse. So the first thing is that if you're thinking, oh, this isn't that bad, actually, the data suggests it is. And here's the other reason why I want y'all to really take a step back and think about this. Because when it comes to stuff like deepfakes, you can have an opinion. I can have an opinion. Research on the negative impacts of deepfakes, we're not really sure when that'll come out. We actually have a lot about non-consensual pornography, which is what's really cool is it like talks about non-consensual pornography. But the truth is you don't actually know. You have no idea what the psychological impact is like for the person who's actually the victim.
So there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, just like everyone who's made a video on this topic who's against deepfake porn, every single one of them makes this logical leap between deepfake porn and literal criminal activity. So when you make unconsensual pornography, so if you film someone during sex without their consent and then release it to the public, if you film a private video with someone and the understanding is it's going to stay private or it's going to be deleted later and then you release it to the public, that is criminal. That is illegal. There are laws regarding revenge porn. So I think it's a little silly to make a logical leap between just deepfakes, which are only composited images, and literal criminal activity. Secondly, I think this point is very important to bring up. Dr. K is a medical doctor and a psychiatrist, so he's an educated person. He should understand how to interpret research, he should have intellectual honesty, he should understand evidence hierarchies, and he should understand what evidence is needed to make certain inferences. Yet here he is on video trying to give you the idea that because there's research indicating that revenge porn is extremely psychologically harmful, that we should assume at least to some degree deepfake porn would cause similar harms. He even admitted in this video that there is no evidence, there's no research on deepfake porn. So why the hell would he make that inference? These are two completely different things. One is an actual invasion of your privacy. It's an actual violation of your rights. It has tangible ways of actually negatively impacting your life, your relationships, your careers, your respect between people you know. And then you have deepfake porn, which is nothing more than composited images. And most of the deepfake porn made, everybody knows it's fake. It's literally on these websites titled deep fakes. Why would we assume these deepfake porns cause anywhere near the same level of harm? This is like saying, oh, well, you know, warfare, like going to war and killing people and getting shot at, you know, that causes PTSD, so much emotional distress. Clearly, video games, which simulate these situations, that must also cause PTSD and similar psychological distress. It's just stupid. What evidence do you have to make that inference? And let's get real, the only reason there's this moral panic about deepfakes is because a rich, overly privileged female streamer cried about it and her army of simps came to her rescue. If this happened to a man, if this were to happen to a male streamer like, I don't know, Ninja, Dr. Disrespect, what have you, I don't really watch streamers. I don't know who the biggest streamers are. But if this happened to a male streamer, do you think anybody would care? Do you think anybody would generate this moral panic like, oh, I can't believe somebody would do that? Do you honestly see a male streamer crying about a deepfake porn? No. Everybody would have a laugh about it. Everybody would just think it's a big fat joke because that's what it is. But because these girls are overly sensitive, they're overly privileged, they make too much money, and they feel like they can get whatever they want because they're entitled, they're getting what they want, and when they cry about it, they have their army of simps going over to protect them. And if Dr. K is going to claim, oh, well, look at how, these women are reacting to these deepfake porns. Like, clearly deepfake porn, it's so harmful. Look at the psychological distress it's causing. All right, well, Dr. K, not sure if you're aware of this, but there happens to have been deepfakes made of you, deepfake porns. So why don't you put your money where your mouth is, jackass? If you're going to claim that people who watch their own deepfakes, they get psychological damage from it, why don't you watch your deepfakes and tell us how psychologically scarred you were? We know that's not going to happen, and we know if you watch your own deepfakes, you're just going to have a laugh because that's all it is. It's a joke. And you are turning this topic into an even bigger joke. This is just nothing but nonsense, and people are just creating a moral panic over bullshit. And honestly, even if you can prove that some people are emotionally distressed over this, well, guess what? Paintings of the Prophet Muhammad give people emotional distress. Does that mean paintings of the Prophet Muhammad are morally wrong? Should they be made illegal? Guess what? This is a free speech issue. Art doesn't have to be flattering. Art doesn't have to be glamorous. And art can offend people. And if you're offended, too fucking bad. Even if you're a famous rich e-girl, you can't always have your way.
We don't have really anything in the history of humanity that sort of has allowed the human brain to experience this kind of thing. So like 10,000 years ago when people were making cave art, if I wanted to draw a nudie picture about someone in the colony, like, it's cave art. Who knows what psychological impact that has? Again, this is a stupid argument I've seen from everybody who's against deepfake porn. They seem to think that deepfakes are some completely new thing that no one's ever seen before. Dude, composited images have existed since film has existed. So the idea that, oh, nobody has ever seen a composited image before that's actually realistic and convincing. You know how long Photoshop has been around? Are you out of your mind? Like, since the 90s, there have been websites dedicated to making Photoshop art of celebrities in pornographic scenes. There's actually a saying in Hollywood, never Google yourself, because you're going to come across these Photoshop pornographic images. These have been around forever, so acting like deepfake porn is this new thing. How could anybody ever, mentally handle this? Well, weird. We've been literally doing shit like this since film has existed, and society hasn't ended, so I think it's fine. I was trying to think about how could someone who has not been the victim of a deepfake understand what the psychological impact of a deepfake is. And so I was just trying to think about what can I do? And here's the best that I could come up with, and it's probably terrible. So imagine for a moment that you were given GHB, Rohypnol, or the date rape drug, or some kind of other dissociative or amnesia-inducing agent. So you have no recollection of it, and then you engage in a sexual act that you have no recollection of. Someone films it, and then you watch it the next day. What do you think would be the psychological impact on you if you saw yourself engaging in a sexual act that you have no memory of? So again, this is a completely disanalogous example. Dr. K is literally comparing
getting drugged, getting raped, and getting filmed getting raped, and seeing the video of you getting drugged and raped as the same as watching a deepfake. I think there's a few differences between seeing a deepfake and getting drugged, getting raped, and getting filmed while being raped, and seeing your rape film. A little different. Secondly, you're going to immediately know that this is a deepfake because it's somebody else's body. So, like, unless you've never seen yourself in front of a mirror naked or something, or, like, literally never looked down at yourself, you're going to know that your face had been put on somebody else's body. Again, making this situation completely and utterly disanalogous. Secondly, the actual video that your face is being overlaid on, like, if you look at any of these deepfakes, they're using, like, really well-shot studio porn scenes where there's multiple camera angles, it's in, like, a mansion or something, or, like, a proper studio set. Like, you're telling me that somebody is going to see a deepfake where their face is overlaid onto somebody else's body, where it's filmed on a studio set, and they're going to think, oh, I must have been drugged, taken to a studio set, filmed a sex scene, and it somehow seemed consensual. I wasn't out of it. I was going along with it. And my body looks completely different. For some reason, I'm way leaner, have bigger boobs, or have a bigger dick. Like, are you out of your goddamn mind? Again, the only tactic that these people have who are against deepfake porn is to try to draw some bridge between actual illegal activity and deepfake porn. Like, again, how fucking ridiculous is it that an educated medical doctor is saying getting drugged, getting raped, getting filmed while getting raped, and then watching your fucking rape film is the same as seeing a deepfake? Again, Dr. K, deepfakes exist of you. So why don't you tell me your experience watching that deepfake and tell me if it even remotely resembles somebody's experience getting fucking drugged and raped, you clown.
And so here's my take. I'm not an expert in legal stuff. I'm not an expert in politics. But generally speaking, it's my understanding that as human beings, we own our likeness, right? You can't take my face and plaster it on an advertisement for, I don't know, peanut butter cups, right? As a human being, I own my likeness. I own my voice. I am entitled to me. No one else is entitled to me. And especially when it comes to things like streamers and stuff or celebrities, we sort of know that, right? Because, like, people will pay for your likeness. So when we talk about something like deepfake pornography, what we are doing is stealing someone's identity. We're taking their likeness and we're saying, hey, I'm going to use it for something, and you don't get a say in that.
So Dr. K is wrong here. You do not own a license to your likeness. There is no copyright on your face. So if somebody were to find public images of you, or if they were to take images of you in public, they can sell those images. They are not yours. You do not own a license to that. There are literally, artist is a loose word, but there's literally an artist who just took screenshots of other people's Instagram photos, printed them, and sold this as artwork, and she made $90,000 for each of these photos, and they weren't even hers. They were just other people on Instagram who took those photos. So again, you do not own your own likeness. The only exception to this is if your likeness is going to be used for commercial purposes. So the example he gave, yeah, if they're going to use your face to sell peanut butter cups, they can't do that. But if they're just going to use your likeness to, say, sell artwork, whether that be a painting, a photograph, or deepfake porn, they can do that. They are well within their right to do that. And I know some of you are going to say that this is a terrible law. People shouldn't be able to use your likeness and sell your likeness as artwork or deepfake porn or what have you. Well, there's a reason why that law exists. If everybody were to own their likeness, that would mean you couldn't do things like film the police, because if you were to, say, film the police committing an illegal act, when you are replicating their image onto film, that is their likeness. So the police could arrest you even though they were the ones committing a criminal act. If CNN were to run a news story showing video footage of the president doing something shitty, the president could take that news story down and bury it because, again, apparently he owns his own likeness. So if he owns his own likeness, nobody can replicate his likeness in any form. If somebody were to make artwork that has some sort of message behind it that used a public figure, if it's politically charged, criticizing Trump, if it's a painting, if it's photography, video, or say composited photo or video, again, that would be illegal because you're replicating their likeness. So there's a reason why these laws exist. Again, you don't have to like deepfake porn, but I'm not hearing an argument against deepfake porn, and Dr. K is just spreading misinformation. You don't own your likeness, and there's nothing illegal about deepfake porn.
I'm pretty sure that's consistently wrong. I'm pretty sure that is aligned with our views as human beings of what is okay and not okay. And generally speaking, as a society, we say it's not okay to use someone's likeness without their consent.
So this is pretty hypocritical. Dr. K is trying to defend the streamers who are claiming that somebody is using their likeness and profiting off of it by selling deepfake porn. Well, guess what? These same streamers are using other people's likenesses and profiting off of it, not by using deepfake porn, but by making content. A likeness doesn't have to be an image of your face. It could be a video you made. These streamers constantly, all day, react to stuff online, react to other people's videos, photos, what have you, and they are using their likenesses without their consent. But nobody really seems to think this is wrong. So no, people are perfectly fine with using other people's likenesses without their consent. It's not seen as morally wrong. The only reason now people are talking about deepfake porn and it being morally wrong to use somebody's likeness is because an e-girl cried about it. Again, if this happened to PewDiePie, if this happened to Dr. K, which it has, no one would care. Everybody would think this is a joke.
The next thing that I want to talk a little bit about is the responses to people who have been through kind of a deepfake. And a lot of people will say like, oh, you don't have to watch it, or it's not that bad, or we'll also hear this, which is like, it comes with the territory. And that's also something that really bothers me because frankly, it doesn't come with the territory. What comes with the territory is what you sign up for. So if there's pornographic content about you on the internet and you are an OnlyFans creator who makes pornographic content, that comes with the territory. Streaming on Twitch, being a YouTube personality, being a celebrity, that does not entitle people to make pornography about said person.
So this was by far the most hypocritical statement made in this entire video. So Dr. K is claiming that if you produce porn on OnlyFans and somebody, say, re-uploads a photo or video of you, that is fine. It comes with the territory. But if you're a streamer and somebody makes a deepfake porn of you, oh, that's not fine. That doesn't come with the territory. Well, jackass, if you're uploading photos and videos to OnlyFans, that is behind a paywall, and you own a license to that. It is copywritten. That's why if you ever see a video or photo on OnlyFans, there's also a watermark on these photos and videos because it's copywritten. So if you were to go on OnlyFans, find some model you like, re-upload their photo or video, you are stealing, but then when you do something that's perfectly legal and use somebody's likeness to produce deepfake porn, according to Dr. K, oh, that's not okay. So doing something illegal, stealing from somebody, that's fine, but just using somebody's likeness, making a deepfake porn, oh my God, it's stupid. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
And what we're seeing is that parasocial relationships are damaging. Not just to the streamer, but to the person on the other end. Because when I start to form this false bond with someone else, I can never get what a real bond should get me, right? That person is they're never going to listen to my vulnerabilities and shortcomings the way that I'm going to listen to theirs. There's never going to be hugging. There's never going to be cuddling. There's never going to be holding hands. There's never going to be going to dinner together. And as I sort of almost become addicted to this parasocial relationship, it becomes harder for me to engage in real life. And this becomes a vicious cycle. Because the harder it is for me to become engaged in real life, and this is what we're seeing, is there are a lot of lonely men out there who are forming parasocial relationships, lonely women as well. The harder it becomes for me to engage in real life, the more dependent I become on this parasocial relationship to fit my emotional needs. And this is crushing a generation of people because I'm getting so addicted to this zombie relationship. It's a half relationship. It's not a real relationship, but it's all I've got, and I can't give it up. I've seen parasocial relationships destroy marriages. I've seen parasocial relationships lead to inceldom. I've seen all kinds of negative impacts. And the deep fake porn makes this worse.
So I'd like to see the evidence you're basing this on. It's kind of strange how you're saying deep fake porn specifically makes parasocial relationships worse, but you literally admitted at the beginning of this video that there isn't really any research on deepfake porn. So are you basing this off of research, or are you pulling this out of your ass and just making assumptions without any evidence to base these assumptions on? Oh, that's what I thought. So I don't know why he's assuming that these people who are watching deepfake porns have any parasocial relationship to begin with. I don't know why he's assuming this deepfake porn specifically would make a parasocial relationship worse if it's even there. I don't know why he doesn't just assume that most of the people who watch these streamers just watch them because they're entertaining. Some of them think they're kind of sexy, and when they hear about a deepfake, hey, why not? I was gonna masturbate anyway. I don't know why he's assuming this, like, just goes so deep. But clearly, he's extremely biased. Most of the arguments he made in this video are either factually incorrect, they are extremely biased, he's making massive assumptions, and making just ridiculous logical leaps. So that wraps everything up. I emailed Dr. K a few days ago, challenging him to a debate on this topic. He didn't get back to me. I'm assuming that's because of various reasons. He might not know me. I'm probably too insignificant to make a video about or engage with. I'm sure he's busy, gets a lot of emails, whatever. But if Dr. K wants to debate me on this topic, I'd be more than happy to. If any of you want to debate me on this topic, I'd be more than happy to. You can either message me on Instagram or through my business email, businessvegangains@gmail.com. Poopy doopy.